Okay, welcome to folks, and welcome to Paudie Crowley, who's with us tonight. And what we'll be discussing will be skills challenges and I suppose staying active at home. So we've Paudie as a small bit of a presentation, but we'll just go through a lot of the content. So we'll go through an introduction, skills challenges, and staying active, and we'll have time for questions at the end. So as you're probably all aware, since the COVID-19 came and everything got shut down, on Twitter, clubs and individuals have been very proactive, putting out skills challenges and activities. And Paudie below at Carbery GA have set up a Twitter page, and they're putting out daily hurling and football exercises. So Paudie will go through that a bit more, but I'll give it over to Paudie from here. All right, Paudie.
Super, thanks so much, Colin. Thanks for having me on. First and foremost, thanks, guys. So look, just a small bit about myself. I'm currently in my second year. I'm about 15 months in the role now as Carbery Games Promotions Officer. So it was an initiative took up last February by the Carbery Board in conjunction with Carbery Cocky and the County Board to get a pair of extra hands on the ground, I suppose. So I'm probably the first GPO in the Carbery Division and in the county at the moment. I spent 18 months up in Leinster GA, working as a GDA, a Games Development Administrator in Louth. So I had some valuable time up there, getting some good, decent experience working with a good proactive county board up there. So with my college and things, I went to IT Carlow for 3 years, and I did my 4th year honours degree in Cork IT. And then I'm currently a senior member of the Untitled GA Club, and I'm active in respect of with my underage club as well in Northern Rasa. So that's a bit about the introduction.
Very good, thanks for that, Paudie. So we'll just straight into it. So you've got a number of things down here, 6 of them: keeping interaction between coaching and games committee, entertaining players, different mindset for exercise, inspiring players, developing natural skill set, and inter-county players setting the standards. So I'll go to the attractive one, the bottom one, inter-county players setting the standards. What have you done below Carbery to get that link?
Yeah, so look, we're very fortunate down in the Carbery Division that we have a bundle of senior players involved with Cork senior footballers at the moment. So I suppose, or when we first started up, we would have got the likes of Damien Gore to come on board, and Brian Hurley did a video for us. So we had attractive names that a lot of the boys and girls in the division could have said, "Do you know what? I know who they are." So they're they were attractive names, and we got Luke Mead in hurling. So Luke is a very popular name down here in respect of hurling, and he's currently one of 3 lads involved within the Cork senior hurling team. He's a regular on the team for the last 3 years, so they're attractive names that we were able to pull in straight away to give us a helping hand in setting up the page and getting videos out there.
And I suppose from the hurling perspective, like I know most of the kids in West Cork are probably used to Luke from summer camps and stuff like that, but for kids outside of West Cork who might know him, to be able to see him without the helmet on, I suppose it brings that kind of link a little bit closer for the kids that they don't kind of have since the helmets became a normality.
Yeah, it's massive for all the hurlers themselves that a lot of the kids might know their faces. It isn't like years ago when Jodine would have had the helmet on and didn't know face guard, you'd know his face straight away, but that isn't the case anymore. So you're kind of just guessing sometimes who's who in the game afterwards when you're looking at them. But no, Luke, he's a fantastic guy in fairness. He gave us a helping hand. He got 2 videos in, and the words and the feedback we've got so far, the kids have loved the exercises. They're all challenging themselves, seeking to have the same skill and the touch as Luke, and it's brilliant to see. It's brilliant to see that there's interactions going between the county players and the youngsters in the division. Very good. And we go to the top one, keeping interaction between coaching and games committee. Can you elaborate on that for us a small bit? Yeah, so look, I suppose there's a Carbery GA coaching games committee, and we have a coaching officer, Charlie Wilson, who stepped in this year. He's only had to take over the role from Mark Dunnan, who set an all merciful standard. Mark was probably one of the best guys I worked with in that short period, and he got another good guy to come in after him, Charlie. And myself and Charlie got chatting one day after we had a meeting, with the boys, and he goes, "Do you know what? We need to do something. We need to be seen that we're doing something down here, that the clubs can interact with us." So we decided to set up Carbery Coaching on Twitter. So it's Carbery Coaching Games. Twitter feed, so it was Carbery Games is our name in it. And what we've done since, we've had a hurling and football one every day. So what we the main reason we did it was that clubs didn't have to be doing things themselves. And if they were, brilliant. But if clubs didn't or weren't doing it, they had an outlet to say, here's all the information. We have it here right now. We just send it on to our players. That's all they have to do. So it's kind of a helping hand more so than anything. We're not trying to coach the coaches or anything like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give the information to the coaches that they can pass on to all their players.
Mark must have dropped in the brown envelope before you came on.
No, he didn't. He didn't, in fairness to him.
Okay, next one, entertaining players.
Yeah, so look, I suppose a lot of the youngsters, they may go out with a hurley and a ball and a football, and out they go, but it's kind of, what are they doing? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to set different challenges every day, different, I suppose, different exercises every day to see, can they mimic it and how best they can, I suppose, improve their time, or can they beat my own time or Charlie's time or Cahill's time in the videos that are there already. So it's kind of, we're trying to set the standard with them, that, you know, it's entertaining stuff. So I just put one out today in the bin challenge. I got 0. I'm still kicking, as I say, but I got 2 videos back already, and one youngster got it after his third go. So like, you can see it's entertaining for the kids, because I'm the one that's coaching them, and the next thing, I can't get it, but they're the one get it. So it's kind of entertaining for them, that they're going out, they're challenging themselves, and you're seeing that it's working, that the kids are looking at it, bang, I'm gone out, I'm going to be outside for a while. So it's kind of, you know, instead of filling their time up with the PlayStation or the Xboxes or the phones, they're going outside, they're getting a bit of fresh air, and they're going out and they're just doing a bit of, I suppose, Gaelic football or hurling while they're out there.
Okay, and I suppose that links in very much with the next point in as well, about a different mindset for exercise.
Yeah, so I suppose a lot of people would be saying that you don't have that many hurling videos up, Paudie, but the reason that we're kind of, myself and Charlie have gone the route we have, is that we're looking for just a different mind on the exercises that we have sent out and challenges we have sent out, because if it was the same person doing the videos over and over and over again, I don't think we'd still be doing a video every day in hurling and football. So that's the whole reason. And again, you're kind of looking at, you know, we'd be on the phone a bit and we'd be chatting. We kind of say, well, if you change this or if you change this, we're constantly talking, and then we're just proceeding with the videos for the following few days.
Very good. And inspiring players.
Yeah, so look, the inspiring the players is, I suppose, it's going back to the county players. So what we're trying to do is that any of the youngsters that they see, Luke Mead doing the pancakes when he was flicking it up and he was bringing the ball dead down in the hurley, that what we're trying to do, we're trying to inspire youngsters that want to play inter-county hurling at a high standard, that this is what they need to be doing. They need to have a good touch, they need to be well able with their play, they need to be quick. So what we're trying to do, we're just trying to inspire them at a young age where they're not getting as much training as they normally would. So this is what we're trying to do. So with these challenges and these exercises we're sending, we're inspiring the younger generation to say that here's your opportunity, get working, get practicing, keep it going. You don't know what can happen.
Very good. And the last one then would be developing natural skill sets. And I suppose when I'm seeing that, I'm thinking, is it kids doing stuff that they naturally would do in the playground or in the backyard, as opposed to when they go training, it's very much regimental on what the coach wants. Is that what you're getting at with that?
It is, yeah. So I suppose us as coaches, and what I say us as coaches, that's everybody. You know, a parent sometimes is a coach in one sense, that you're kind of you're coaching your children, or you're coaching the players that you're in charge, and you're trying to tell them how to do something, I suppose, better, or you're trying to prove them. But the reason I'm coming at this point is that sometimes we come along with a shovel. I always use this frame, that we come along with a shovel of information and we throw it at the youngsters, and they don't pick up half the information that we're coming across with. So it's kind of like, what we're trying to do, it's snippets of information that the kids pick up, and that they're developing that through their natural skill set, that when we say move into the ball, so every time that they strike the ball off the wall or they kick the ball off the wall, it's the natural skill set that they have. I move in, I catch the ball. So every time they repeat that, when it comes to games again, hopefully that's one of the kids that has been doing it. When the ball is coming to him, if it be a corner back or a corner forward, he's moving into the ball. He's not waiting for it. So a lot of the time, youngsters have a habit of waiting for the ball because the coach might tell them, stay out in the corner, stay out in the corner. Where what we're trying to do is develop them. Out you go and get your ball now because that's what you've been practicing. So you're hand passing, you're going to catch it, but you're moving again. So it's the natural skill set that you're trying to build into these youngsters that they're improving it all the time.
Very good. So staying active then. So ball and wall session time restrictions, touches countdown. So is that targeting practices and what they should be trying to do and stuff?
Excuse me. Yeah, so I suppose like it's very easy for Saul to go out and say, if you go get a ball, flake it off the wall, kick it off the wall. What we're trying to say in this is that that they set, if they can get a phone or a watch or something, that they set 30 seconds. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to get as many strikes off the wall or kicks off the wall or hand passes off the wall or throws and catches off the wall, that how many can they do in a time period. So you can go 15 seconds, you can go 30 seconds, you can go 45 seconds, but it's putting a restriction on them. So they're going to be, if that's going to be intense work for those youngsters for that time period. So I think sometimes when you're just out there on your own and someone mightn't be looking at you, that you'll just go through the motions, where if there's a restriction and you know that you got 30 the first time, next time you only get 15 and 80, that you're trying to beat your score all the time. So that's the time restriction. And then the touch countdown is kind of, you could say that you're going to do 50 touches. So how long would 50 touches off the wall take, or 100 touches off the wall take? That's what you're trying to get. That you're putting, I suppose, a purpose and a meaning behind the session that you're doing, for yourself while you're doing it.
Very good. Group fitness session, then contact over social media platforms. Can you just elaborate on what that entails?
Yeah, so for a lot of our coaches, we may have been onto our players at the start, and we're kind of saying to them that lads, we're going to be away for a while, so we want you doing X and we want you doing Y. So what I'm trying to get at here, even if parents set it up, that the youngsters come together, or older youths, I suppose, is the point I'm getting at here with it, but that they come together and they're doing, they're just doing some exercises, or they're challenging each other. That it could be a kicking competition, it could be a target game, it could be, burpees, it could be body weight exercises, that they're coming together as a group and they're coming on social media platform, or they're challenging their friends to come out and, I got 32 kicks off the wall in 30 seconds. How many can you do? And you're just trying to build a rapport between the group, that there's a meaning, and there's still something that at the end of the day, that there's interaction between the kids, that it isn't that they haven't seen anyone in 7 weeks, that they come on, they know every Tuesday night that we're going to come on, we're social media, all the group come on, and we're going to challenge each other to do different things.
Yeah, I suppose the collective, it's much easier for them to do it collectively together, as opposed to being told do it and doing it on your own and not knowing whether other people are doing it or whether there's value to it and stuff like that. So I suppose that's the important part of the collaboration amongst the group, like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive, because like some youngsters, they could be only children, they mightn't have seen anyone in the 7 weeks that we've been off now, so they know that every Tuesday night, as I was saying, that there's something for them to go on and say, hey Johnny, what have you done today? And there's been a conversation between them, and he goes, well, I'm after getting 32 kicks, or I'm after 17 hand passes, whatever it is, that they start challenging each other, and there's a rapport between them, that they're still confident in themselves to talk in the group. And I'm totally, what I'm trying to get across is that parents be active and involved in this as well, that parents stay in the background and they're doing the time restrictions, or they're doing the counting for them, that the youngster can work away and the parents get involved. So there's kind of been a rapport between the parents as well, and it's a different activity they're at.
Yeah, and I suppose the social aspects that are very, very important as well. The next one then, daily routine, aim to keep everything normal.
Yeah, so I've kind of been getting this around in my head and kind of thinking about it, and been doing it the last couple of weeks. That first week that you were off, it was kind of, we'll have a sleep in and we'll be right as rain. But your day goes from you, and by the time that you could be getting out of bed and the breakfast is got and everything, your day just starts to go. So kind of daily routine, get up at the same time, do the normal things, do the normal same things that you've always been doing. But if you go out for a 15-minute kicking session, keep it up, go out every day, because that time builds up, and every time that you're out kicking or striking, whatever it is, you're starting to build up, you're building that up in the bank, as we kind of call it in the sporting term, that everything you do builds up in the bank, that the more you do, another guy could be doing double, or someone else could be doing less. So the more that you're doing, it's building up every day. So don't go out once a week, try and get out for, instead of going for an hour a day or an hour a week, go for 15 minutes and break up and maybe go for another 15 minutes later on. And then you're just building it up throughout the week, and you'll build it up normally, that it's a normal thing that you go out. Because when you're in school, it's a normal thing. You go to school, you do your work, you go for a small break, back inside, out for a big break. So just trying to build a routine through the whole thing.
Yeah, and like we Barry Carbery on 2 weeks ago, I think, and he was very much of that. Try to have a routine that you have a plan for the day. So rather than just, as you said, like the first week we sleep in and relax and have lunch at 3 o'clock and stuff like that. It was very much for your own mindset and your own I suppose psychological well-being, is to have a structure. And as I said, if you can put in your 15 minutes of kicking or striking or whatever into that structure, then from a coaching perspective, that's excellent. Personal responsibility then, last one.
Yeah, so look, personal responsibility, I suppose it's kind of, this isn't for the under 10s or anything like that. This is kind of for our youths and our adults, I suppose, is the easiest one, that we're all being set, I suppose, a 5K challenge and things like that, and we're doing it, but we may only be going once a week. So what I'm trying to get at here is, personal responsibility, that, you're looking after your body, you're kind of doing the right things, you're getting out, you're being active, but you're not really doing the dogging it, that you're not doing anything where you're probably putting your hands up and saying, yeah, doing it, got my time, things like that, where it's a bit of responsibility. Even if it's go out for a walk, build it up, just go slow, and you're just taking a bit of responsibility for yourself, that you're looking after your own body. Because what will happen, and eventually, hopefully, things will get back to some bit of normality, and you go training, and next thing, the manager will come along and he'll say, lads, we're going running, and you could be out the back because you haven't taken that bit of personal responsibility during this COVID-19 pandemic, that you didn't look after yourself to say, do you know what, I should have gone out 20 minutes a day doing something, or 15 minutes a day doing something. So it's just that bit of responsibility that you're looking after yourself. And if you said that you're going to practice something, you should be doing it. So it's just that bit of responsibility, that if it's 15 minutes a day, you go out, you do it. It's not going to be in all, the TV is going to be inside, the PlayStation is going to be inside, whatever it is, it's still going to be inside at the end of the day. It's your bit of responsibility that you're looking after yourself during this crisis, I suppose.
Yeah, and I suppose like one thing that I've seen from your stuff has been like it's stuff that you would kind of enjoy doing. It's not a chore, and I suppose we don't want kids to be looking at hurling, football, physical activity as an actual chore. We want it to be something that you'll enjoy, and it's something you've definitely done with the challenges and stuff. And I presume that's what you're coming with from your own mindset, as well as regards what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, like I suppose I look at it. I'm still playing myself, and I look at it from the point of view, what are the things I like to do? And I suppose, as any player can tell you, having the ball is the fun part about it, challenging yourself. Like I suppose I'll go back to the previous video or video we just put up, of the kicking challenge. I had 20 goals the first time around before I took the video, and the ball was still going over and over and over. And it's kind of, it's a challenging aspect that you're kind of looking at. It's something you're saying, that's very simple. You're only 20 yards away. You should be getting that into the bin. But there's a mindset behind you. You're kind of saying, well, it's the routine, right hand, right foot, kick it, and you're trying to hook it in. It doesn't happen like that. So it's about, I suppose, going back to that bit of personal responsibility. Have you been practicing enough to get the ball to where you want it to go? So it's kind of, everything we've done, I suppose, is there's a meaning behind it. So if it's catching the ball overhead, why do we catch the ball overhead? Because if we can't catch the ball overhead at 10, 12, 13, 14 years of age, we won't be able to do it when we become 18, 19, 20. It won't come natural to us. So everything we've been kind of doing, there's, I suppose, a reason behind it.
Very good. And so what you're telling me is, for every hour of footage you take, you get 1 minute of good content. Is that what you're saying?
32 seconds. We'll just say that I'm talking for most of it.
Yeah, very good. Another thing I've noticed with you, Paudie, like I suppose, look, it's something we would have discussed amongst the GDAs, and I know that you're doing a lot of the football stuff, and James as well, and Paudie O'Brien would do an awful lot of the hurling stuff. He's kind of tasked with that. But like what we were kind of conscious of was just making sure that the kids actually put the hurling in the hand or put the football in the hand as often as possible. And same as what you're saying, is that it's to make it something somewhat attractive to them. So we don't want to go get them out running around cones and sprinting up and down. We want to get doing something that they're actually going to enjoy. But one thing I've noticed with you as well is that you're trying to, I suppose, doing any bit of practice against the wall is great, but you're putting in sort of little things that are a bit closer to the match. Like I said, I'm very conscious now of the ones James puts up, and you've put up as well, James, had up with Dan, where Dan is catching a ball and he's spinning around onto his left. So as opposed to some of the skills challenges, which are just standing, kicking the ball left and right, there's a bit of footwork and movement involved. Is that something you're conscious of? I suppose it's not going to get it completely game related, but a little bit more game related than it could be. I suppose you're conscious of those things.
Yeah, it's massive, because what we noticed, we kind of, I suppose, when I first started in my role with James, we kind of did a pods. We broke our division. There's 26 clubs, first and foremost. I'm kind of going off the topic a small bit, but there's 26 clubs, and we were saying, how would we get around to best all those clubs? We brought it back to a pod scenario, and what we noticed from the youngsters coming in was they were all dominant leg. So we were kind of saying, why aren't our non-dominant legs being used enough? And the reason is that we don't turn onto that side enough. So the reasoning that we come back with our coaching points and things like that is that we're seeing it a lot when they come into our pad section. So after 6 or 7 weeks, they could come back into us in, just say, around 11 pad. And what we're noticing, all dominant legs. So you're kind of saying, guys, every time you kick it off the right, you have to turn onto your left leg. So you're not turning across your body. So if you turn across your body, what's happening is you could be turning into a defender. So what we're saying is...
Elaborate on just what you mean by across the body now, just put it in layman's terms.
So if I got the ball off the wall now and I turned onto my left leg, I could be turning into a defender. So what we're looking to do, we're looking to spin out of it and turn where I'm opening my body to get the kick off. So it's kind of, instead of turning into the defender, you're trying to turn away from the defender. So you could be right half corner forward, instead of turning into the corner. When you get it, you're turning out from the corner out towards midfield to the opposite corner, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get at. That you're not trying to turn into the player all the time, that you're trying to think, right, instead of me turning into my body and turning across onto my right leg now, I need to get it, I need to spin full 360 around onto my right leg. That's what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, that why we're doing it. And our footwork is another thing, that you'd see a lot of players that their two legs are together. So the reason that you're trying to get them on their toes, and I suppose a small bit in the ready position. I know you say the ready position, but no youngster will ever be in the ready position during a game. But if they're just thinking, they look down to their feet and say, I'm in the ready position, right? Or I'm stationary, 2 feet together, need to be in the ready position. So you're just getting them thinking all the time, what's the best thing I need to do with my body position, my posture, my feet. So you're just trying to get them thinking all the time. So that's the reason that we've been looking at a lot of our exercises, that we're trying to change in the mindset of the youngsters in the area, in the division.
Very good. I think we're on to questions, but if anyone has any questions, as I said, you can throw it into the chat function. But Paul, what kind of response are you getting so far with all this stuff, Paudie?
I suppose we set it up on the 22nd, the 23rd of March. We set it up, and I think out of all our videos so far, I think we've somewhere in the region of about 56 videos. So that's 56. So what's that? We have 28 of each. So we've 28 of each hurling football up. There's some of the county players have come in. So the response has been quite good. We've got messages back. We've somewhere in the region of about 90,000 views in all our videos so far. So it's positive. I suppose, look, we're in an uncertain time, that we don't know what's actually happening. And the reason that we kind of have kept going with the videos is kind of saying, look, there's an outlet here every day for our clubs in the region, that look, there's a new video. So instead of the coach, after draining himself of getting his 10 or 12 videos out that he might have, that the boys are still going. We have a hurling one, we have a football one. Do you know what? I could take something off that. I could alter it to my liking. Do you know? So there's kind of things that we're trying to get across, that we're not trying to be the faces behind it. Myself and Charlie, who's young fella Cahill, in fairness, has been doing a lot of the hurling. We'd like to take a step back nearly, that we could see some of the club players come in with something. So even the county players now, we've more county boys coming. There's a few clan lads that are coming on board, Carbery Rangers. So the whole idea is that we're trying to get different, I suppose, mindset again, that there's different players home with something, and it's just trying to get everyone interacting as best as possible. Because look, this isn't just a Carbery GA point of view. It's just fortunate that I am in Carbery GA that we're promoting it in the division. But the idea is that we're trying to get different people thinking that what else could we do differently, mindsets and things like that.
Very good. And like, look, I suppose there's been so much other content out there. Is there any other people that you'd have seen doing skill challenges that you'd go, yeah, check them out, or check out that? Because in fairness, every county like that, like what you're saying about Carbery, I mean, nearly every county, and there's loads of GTAs, and they're putting out top class stuff. There's loads and loads of stuff. Like there's two spring to mind for me that, like, as well as your own stuff. The Kieran Kilkenny does a daily one on Instagram and Twitter, and he's sponsored by Attack Sports, and there's a prize for whichever kid sends in the best one. He does a daily hurling and football, and the other one I've seen is Mickey Quinn, the Longford footballer.
Yeah,
football stuff, and just some of the stuff he does. Like if kids can replicate that, they'll be going. They'll be going to a fair place.
They could get onto any county team.
Yeah.
There's no particularly stands out. It's kind of more so that you're kind of, I suppose, you're borrowing ideas is the word I like to use from other areas. A lot of the coaching games committees are very good. Peter Nash in Limerick is another good guy. He's after getting a pile of stuff out. In fairness to him, you could actually do a basic training session from all his stuff. If you've never played any bit of Gaelic football or hurling, you could go and start straight away with what information he's after coming across with. There's some phenomenal stuff there. I'm doing lots of coaching games. I suppose my old county board, Loud GA, that I worked with, they have a lot of stuff. A lot of their GDAs are putting up stuff, and a lot of their county players are putting up stuff. So there's a bundles of information out there. I suppose it's just about going browsing, as I call it, and going find what suits you and what, I suppose, takes your imagination, what you can work off. There's a couple of the boys I went to college with, Conor Clancy, he's a GDA in Offaly, another guy that has a few bits up. So there's plenty of things out there. It's just how you go about getting it for yourself, and how you get looking for it, I suppose.
Yeah, and like as you said, like you've got it on a mass scale, but it would be great if clubs were even taking the exercises you're doing and getting their own people to do it, or even getting some of the kids to do it and show it off and replicate it would be great.
It'd be super.
We've got an infiltrator from County Mayo. Peter Scully just messaged in to say thanks to Paudie that they're using your videos above with the under 10s in Knockmore. So he just said the same thing, massively important to use his time to keep the ball glued to the hand. So thanks for that, Peter, and to you, Paudie. And I suppose other than that, then, Paudie, like look, I know you did the Easter camp there 2 weeks ago, and you're working on the we call it athletic development. It's not S&C, it's athletic development. It's making them better movers. Is there any, I suppose, what would you be saying to teenagers, let's say between 13 and 18, who might be kind of just starting to get integrated to that thing? Is there any tips you might have for that kind of an age group? Any coaches with those?
It's kind of a difficult age group, because I suppose if any of them are doing something, they're probably doing a bit of work at home with the parents or anything. I suppose, look, for those guys, if they can do their, I suppose, body weight exercises, as I call them, more so than anything, if they can replicate pushing their body, the pushing and the pulling exercises, that's the thing. And just even getting the ball in his hand, like anything we've done with the ball in hand, I suppose any person at any age could do it. That's the thing. But it's how they, I suppose, change it and get it across to, I suppose, their mindset of how I can actually challenge myself here. So, instead of being 5 yards or 10 yards or 15 yards away from the wall, maybe you go back a bit further, and you're kicking and you're turning and you're twisting. that small bit more that you challenge yourself, that you're kind of building yourself up. Like it's a very difficult age group for those guys, because I suppose a lot of them, they're 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 fond of themselves. Youngsters at that age, they're kind of a different mindset and things like that. That they're kind of saying, so what do I want to go out and do a ball off a wall session for? But the thing is, it's kind of eye-hand coordination. Can you speed up that eye-hand coordination? That's what you're trying to get at, because there's possibly someone else in that division or area doing it, and they could be doing it 4 or 5 more times a day.
Yeah, and I suppose on that 13 to 16 age group, I know that with Revlo coaching, we're looking at maybe doing weekly sessions, one hurling, one football. So we'll hopefully have some more information that for either next week or the week after we'll be up and running. A question in from Sean O'Rourke, not specific really to what we're doing here, but any ideas on how to get young players running off the ball? I find that young players under 12 feel they must stay beside their marker when you're the attacking team. So, can you answer that one, Paudie?
I suppose, look, that needs to be replicated in a game scenario, in training and things like that. That if they're taught how to do it, I suppose, is the thing, because there's no point in, I suppose, telling a youngster, come on, run off the ball, no, run off his shoulder. They don't know what that terminology or language is. You kind of need to break it down to their language, and you need to, I suppose, walk through it first and foremost, and then start bringing it through that. So you could have the coach gives it to the forward. Next thing, there's another player standing next to the coach, and after he's his 4 steps in turn to take his man on, that's when the extra man starts running to support him. So you're just kind of building it up. It's a process that you're trying to build with them, and to get them to think of what's the best way. And then I suppose as you carry that on, you could have the extra player being marked by a player. So how can you get away from this player to go and support your own teammates? So you're just trying to build up the process. Then you bring it into backs and forwards, and then you'll bring it into your game scenario that you could have a 9v9 game or a 12v12 game. So things like that, you just need to break it down into small little segments and break the language and the terminology down that players will relate to. And once that's done, that'll become, I suppose, a small bit easier for them to do it.
Yeah, and just I suppose what you're saying, it's about doing it in training, and before, if you're not working on this in training and doing activities in training like you talked about, it won't replicate to the match. So as I said, kids, we say a number of cliches to kids about get free, mark your man, touch tight, things like that, and for a kid that doesn't mean anything. You'll have to explain actually what it means, and by doing it in training and regularly, you'll get through it. Just one from Paul. He agrees that Paul McCartney, a difficult age group, I presume around with teenagers. Well, what do you think that, my opinion, no problem with 16-year-olds' upper body is they're all into that, and not necessarily for GA reasons, but harder to get them to do cardio related at home. I suppose like it has young fellas, like compared to, they're doing a lot more gym and a lot more body conscious now than, and I won't say you're still young enough, but my generation and older, like we never, I don't think we ever went into a gym until I was probably 21, So kids these days are being exposed to the gym a bit more. And I suppose, look, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, I don't know on Twitter, but Instagram is very much a teenager's kind of, I suppose, a playground as regards showing themselves off, but they do have a tendency to go for the more the aesthetic muscles as opposed to the functional ones. So is there anything else on that body? Like, is it, like, I suppose it's something that kind of marries them a bit and gives them a bit of A and a little bit of B, but I suppose getting the kids into that mindset.
It's kind of a hard one, because I'm one that I don't like the 5Ks and things like that. I'll be honest and truthful. It's sore on the body. Like, I suppose as players, we're used to running on grass. We're not used to running on tarmac and things, so it's kind of hard. What I would be saying, if you can get them replicating runs they might be doing in games, in I suppose a bit of a green area that they know that, I suppose, that they could be doing I suppose shuttle runs, that they have a time limit, that they're on for 30 seconds off. That I know you're working on your, I suppose, a bit of stamina there, but it's kind of very hard to tell them, go and do a 5K run, because they don't want to do things like that. I suppose what you're trying to get them to do is something that's related to the game. So if you're getting them doing running mechanics, sprint work, that that they have to go out and they have to do 20 sprints over 20 meters, 25 meters. They're doing shuttle runs. Those kind of things would be more benefit to them rather than going out and telling them to do the 5K or the 2Ks or the 1K. Kind of getting them into sharp, snappy stuff, because youngsters, they're fit enough as it is. It isn't that they're unfit. And the problem where it becomes they're unfit is when they're not doing the work. But if you get them doing their bit of speed work, sprint work, it should be a small bit more easier to get them to do it.
Yeah, and I suppose the other thing in that would be setting sort of challenges. I know a lot of clubs are doing, like you see someone now doing 150k, which is breaking them into teams of 5 or 6, and then between over the course of a week they try to cover 150k between them. So things like that, where they're maybe setting a standard or setting a challenge for other players, maybe something they can do that. Another one here from Anya: any tips for an under 13 hurler and footballer parent to help maintain or to progress the skills? I know he's frustrated because I would not be as good a player as he is. So
yeah, I suppose don't worry too much about it. I just encourage him every day to go out, do the work. If there's a bit of wall at home, tell him that's his challenge for the day. Work off that. But for that youngster, just tell him to keep moving left and right. Keep pushing all the time, maintain his progress and work all the time. So it's my buddy, Jesus, just to kind of get them active and get them out. Keep supporting him, keep telling him how well he's doing. Encouragement is the key thing here. And look, the frustration is going to be there because he's not working with his siblings or with his friends and things like that. But that's part and parcel, unfortunately, at the moment that we're dealing with. But I suppose just keep encouraging him, keep getting doing the work that he is doing, and kind of just keep developing him and setting challenges as well for him. Keep challenging him all the time.
yeah, just again on that, like we'll have Stephen B on with us in a few weeks' time, and he'll be talking about confidence and motivation, and how a child's confidence is directly related to their level of motivation. If a child feels they're good at something, they'll continue to do it and challenge themselves to be better. But if a child feels they're not good at it, they'll stop it because of the fear of their peers judging them, or their parents, and the fear of failure. So will have Stephen be on in maybe 2 or 3 weeks to talk about that a bit more, to go in more in depth. But as I said, positive reaffirmations. As I said, like no one is perfect, but as I said, we can always try to be a little bit better. So
yeah.
All right, Paudie, look, we'll leave it at that. I was going to say thanks very much for your time tonight. Give a quick shout out to your Twitter handle there with the Carbery Games. What is it on Twitter?
The Twitter handle is Carbery Games. Is it? So we come under Carbery Coaching Games. So give us a follow. Give us a like and share everything we're doing. Pass it on to all the other parents and things like that. But just get the information out there. It isn't to be hidden; it's to be passed out to all to see can you stay active during this uncertain times, I suppose.
Very good. Thanks for that, Paudie. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back again next week. I'll confirm that person tomorrow. But until then, thanks very much.